Hey, I'm Pascal from Orangepixel and I'm setting up some new stuff in the studio. I have a new light, a key light here, and I'm not sure if it's all working as it should, but I'm also doing some changes in the studio. This whole cabinet is now my collection of games, different from what was in there. And I have a new poster coming for behind me, but it hasn't arrived yet, so I guess that's gonna be next week. This week, not really anything interesting. Last week's video was interesting enough. If you haven't watched it, check it out. It was out there. The week before that I did a bunch of extra stuff. So this week it's just a normal devlog. Let's talk about Residual. I haven't talked about it for 3 weeks, I think, and I have been working on it. So there's a lot of changes and stuff happening, and after the intro we're gonna dive into it. And I hope the light setup is right this way. I don't know. Intro. Okay, so I'm in the final stretch of working on Residual, and I always get nervous at this point. Doesn't matter how long I've been working on the game or how well I think the game is or good or whatever. Nerves. At some point I have to release this game in the wild and people will start telling me what they think about the game, even if I don't really want to know what they think about the game. And even after releasing hundreds of games, well, almost 100 games, the feeling never changes. But I'm gonna try and push that away every week and every day as I work on the game, because there's still a bunch of stuff that needs to be done. The last couple of big things I've been adding over the holidays, credit screen. I think that's an important one for a game, and this game has a lot of credits because all the Kickstarter backers will be in it. Eventually also publisher names will be in it, I guess. Patron names are in there. It's a huge credit screen, but it looks amazing. Let me show you. Alright, so when you start up the game, this is the screen, and for those that are just joining the channel, this was actually fan art, and it turned into the official art, which is still awesome. But let's get back to the credits. You have the options screen here, and when you start the options screen, you can then scroll down to the credits. The credits sequence combines pictures and names, and these pictures, I created a bunch of these little diorama type thingies, and they're fun to create. I also been using them for the thumbnails on the videos. And then we have a bunch of people being named here who helped, and of course also all the patrons and Kickstarters. And since it's a pretty long list, you can actually navigate through the whole credit screen, so you can quickly skip pages if you think I know about that. You can just skip through these pages and see if your name is in there. So right now we're at 18 pages of credits, and there's still a bunch of people missing, so I guess it will be a little over 20 pages. But all these people kind of helped make this game a reality. So for the credits I've been creating a bunch of these little dioramas, and it's pretty much combining a bunch of existing graphics of the game, tile sets, backgrounds, artwork, and trees, flowers, and the characters, and create funny scenes and scenery, and then we use those in the credit screen, and a lot of fun work. I'll have to do a few more, but I might actually stream that. Either I already did this week, as this video goes live on Thursday, or I might do it in the coming week. I don't know yet, but it could be fun to show this on the stream, because it's very easy for me. I don't have to think about it. I can just create these dioramas and scenery and still have a chat with you guys. So this might be happening live on Twitch. If it does, hang out in the Discord and you'll get notified and you'll know about it. So, alright, those are the credits. There's more. I've been working on the most important thing for Residual, the final missions. The game, you crash on a planet, you'll have to somehow survive, explore, but also make your way off that planet. And all this time that wasn't possible, but now I've completely written all the missions that require you and allow you to fix your ship, get it off the ground, and fly away into the sunset or galaxy, or either way, you're gonna escape the planet now. So in total we now have 13 missions, 12 missions, the 13th one being fly away, but I guess that's a mission. I haven't really did a full playthrough yet from start to finish. I usually cheat my way into that position of completing a mission. So I'm not sure how long it would take an average gameplay session, but some of these missions might actually take a good amount of time, because you'll have to find resources, enough resources, and you'll have to find them deeper in the ground. I'm also thinking about adding a couple of extra missions. We're working on hyper gates. These are gateways in the planet, on every planet. They are part of the story that I've also been working on. And I haven't fully figured out what these hypergates do and what you should be doing with these hypergates, but they might be a extra mission that I'm gonna be adding, or an extra something. Been talking about this on the Discord and been checking with people what they think, and I had a couple of ideas and pitched them. So again, if you want to be part of this whole process and want to see more interaction, Discord is the place to be, because it's the place to be. All right, let me just show you. If you don't want to see this, skip ahead like a minute or so, but this is how it looks if you actually manage to escape the planet. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna escape the planet. I'll cheat my way there. We're gonna escape the planet now. Skip a minute if you don't want to see this whole scene or animation. It's not a huge spoiler anyway, but. All right, so I cheated myself now into the final mission. Final mission is being a liftoff. So we enter the spaceship and our chair now becomes a pilot chair. We can fly, and as soon as you do this, it's done. So spoiler alert, we're gonna escape the planet now. Give it 20-30 seconds and watch again if you don't want to see the spoiler. And that's the liftoff. Still tinkering with the animation a little bit and the sound effects and everything around it, but it's pretty cool to see this happening. This is what we've been working towards, and this is really, as far as the core gameplay goes, this is the most important stuff. Being able to complete all these missions and lift off and survive the planet. That leaves me with a bunch of extra weeks of work where I can just improve on things, tinker with things, add alternate stuff, because there are items and there are mining devices and there's data cubes and stuff, and that just requires a lot of extra content. So that's we can create new little items pretty quickly, like half an hour, and we have new items in the game. So that's a lot of work we can do right now. That's tiny and will enhance the game content wise, but the main important stuff is all in there, which is a big relief for me. All right, so what we have left now as far as my to-do list goes and my workload is the extra sauce in a game. This is what I usually do with my games, like a codex in the menu. You're gonna be meeting a lot of weird creatures and you're gonna be interacting with devices and all that stuff. I want to have a menu that just shows you a database that you encountered these creatures, you figured out these things. Now for people who only play my game once and don't like it, that's not going to be an interesting value for the game. But for people who really dig the game and really dig into it, things like this usually add a bunch of extra to the game and give it a lot of extra value. Statistics, a codex, but also surviving this planet. I want to have a list in the menu where you can see all the planets you survived on and you escaped from, or also all the planets you didn't survive on. So when you're actually escaping a planet, I want that planet to show up in a menu item list somewhere, so that you can either replay it, maybe play it in a free game mode or sandbox mode, but at the least you'll have a list of all the planets you actually survived on. Also, if you die on a planet, that would be interesting to have that as a list, all the planets you didn't survive on, because you can just give those planets a try and not pick a random planet, but pick the ones you failed at or pick the ones you were good at. Bunch of extra stuff. Most of these things are just great ideas and then pretty easy to implement because it's all built and connected to the stuff that's already there. So that's really my main workload right now. I have very little key features left, except the big one that I had there since like many months ago, the story. I have been writing a story for the game, the backstory, but now I have to turn that backstory, which is like 1 or 2 pages, have to turn that into like little data pieces that you'll find in the game. So there are holograms that will give you a lot of information. These holograms need to give parts and pieces of the full story in such a way that you don't get the full story at once, but it's all interesting backstory of the actual story. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, I've never really done that in games before, so I threw myself in the deep end of the pool and I have no way how to swim and get out of here. So I'm gonna figure it out. There must be some information somewhere, and if not, I'm just gonna try it, do it, and see how it works out. This will also include adding a lore and little pieces from the Kickstarter backers. Some of the backers had a tire where they actually get to give some lore into the game. So that's going to be interesting because it has to fit in the story, but we can fit anything in the story pretty much if you're flexible enough. So I'm really psyched for it. It's one of the key things I have to be working on now, because other than that, I'm looking at my list here, and other than that, it's just a bunch of content making and creating and extras, and of course debugging. That's also going to be a big thing. Right now I think it's pretty bug free, but you never know until you play. I was very psyched and pumped to create this first devlog of the year, but I'm struggling. I don't know if it's going to be showing on camera, but I was struggling. I had a bunch of stuff to tell you, but I think I communicated everything, or at least the important stuff that I wanted to talk about, except one thing. I'm running a sort of contest type thingy on the Discord, on other social media, but mostly on Discord, because there we can talk about it. It's an idea together with the publisher. I have a lot of planets in this game, and every planet requires a tile set, and a tile set is the graphics that make up the planet. So if you're a pixel artist or any graphic artist and want to get in on this, the rules are posted on the Discord channel. In short, create a tile set for the game. There's a template available that pretty much explains what's needed and also the color palette to be used. Create a tile set for a planet. We'll be picking great tile sets that actually fit the game and work in the game and look good enough to be in the game. The creators of those tile sets will get a copy of the game, a Steam key. Name in the credits if you're not there yet as a backer or patron. This is a way to get your name in the credits, and that also means you can actually put the game on your resume if you ever need a job in the industry. And finally, a Orangepixel hoodie, which I don't have with me here right now. Let me get one. Yeah, an Orangepixel hoodie. I actually had to get it from downstairs because I actually wear this hoodie every day when I go outdoors. It's a pretty cool hoodie, the Orangepixel logo on the back. Now, if your tile set doesn't make it into the release version of the game, there might still be an option. We can actually incorporate those tile sets later on in something like an update or a fan update or whatever. And if you have questions or need more information or whatever, on the Discord channel artwork, just mention me, ask your question, and either I will answer it when I can, or somebody who might have asked the question before and already knows the answer will answer. We'll see. Just hang out there, create a cool tile set, and we'll see. Deadline is February the 1st-ish, around the 1st of February. So that's a couple of weeks. I think most people do a tile set in a couple of hours at most. So unless you're very slow, then you better hurry now. And if you're very fast, you got time. Go watch another video on my channel and then get back and do a tile set or 2 or 3. You can actually do multiple tile sets, because if just one makes it, that's still one. So I think that's clear, isn't it? I think, yeah, that, I hope I made that clear enough. If not, Discord, ask your questions. I think I'm gonna end this video. I'm really struggling today, and this has just been a weird first week of the year. But it's been a good week. It's been a good week. A lot of stuff has happened. I've been doing a lot of business type thingies. So yeah, it's been a good week. Struggling video. Next week can only get better. So see you next week. Bye. All right, so